video it's time for bad drivers we see. And first up is a driver completely ignoring a red light. That car driver almost having 44 tons of truck coming straight through the side of him. Completely ignoring red traffic lights seems to be becoming more and more common.
Alright, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do.
Now in London, you really will see some of the most impatient drivers you'll find on the planet. This road we're currently on is the A406 North Circular Road, and being a truck driver, you have to have eyes everywhere, which is probably why I noticed these two drivers running the red light on the road adjacent to the road I was actually on. Keep your eyes peeled. The white car leapfrogs the black car and runs the red light. The driver of the black car seems to be jealous of the white car running the red light. He really couldn't help himself, could he? This next clip is on a slip road coming off the M57. The first driver should really know better, but there's a second vehicle that goes through the red lights which you can't actually see yet. There's the traffic lights changing. Didn't they do exceptionally well? And our final red light runner is a real head scratcher, this time on a roundabout. The penalty for running a red light is a £100 fine and 3 points on your driving licence. So why would... Oh, hang on, he has actually stopped at the red light. My apologies. No, sorry, spoke too soon.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Here's yet another clip of a manoeuvre that seems to be becoming all too common on the motorways. Despite there being 2 miles of signage telling you which lane you need to be in, this driver obviously didn't look at a single one of them. Excellent work. Some drivers don't even have to be on the motorway to cause problems on it.
Keep your distance though, Chewie, but don't look like you're trying to keep your distance.
Why don't we try not to make it so hard for us?
I'm moving across to lane 2 here because the Mercedes sports car can't get up to 54 miles an hour and join the motorway in front of me. It's not such a big problem to move over to lane 2 if the lane is indeed clear. And out of shot, the car driver courteously flashes me back in and I'm able to move back to lane 1. The onus is, however, on the vehicle joining from the slip road. As Rule 259 of the Highway Code states, give priority to traffic already on the motorway. Obviously it is courteous if you are on the motorway and you can move over to help a slower moving vehicle come onto the motorway, then to do just that. And that's exactly what I've done in this situation with the 2 vans coming on from Sandbag Services. But you will find on some occasions that some drivers have stopped moving over to lane 2 being courteous, and this is the reason why. What should actually happen here is the van should maintain its speed and I'll pull back into lane 1 and then he can do his overtaking. But even though I've been more than courteous to both van drivers, both of them start speeding up and leave me out in lane 2. The blue van had dropped back behind my truck, but then decided to undertake me when he saw the white van speeding up. What a pair of wazzocks. Sometimes though, you're being overtaken yourself in lane 2, and the person driving in lane 2 is themselves also being overtaken in lane 3. Keep your eye on the car in front of me on the slip road on the left hand side. Remember, I'm doing 54 miles per hour at this point, but for some reason the car won't get on with it, and even goes as far as slowing up. Either put your foot down and get in front of me, or go behind me. Dilly-dallying on the slip road and indecision causes accidents, and sitting there beeping your horn as this car was doing really is proof that the driver doesn't actually know how to drive. The grey car passing me now was in lane 3 and has moved to lane 2, and the white car was stopping me from moving over to lane 2. Otherwise, like in the previous 2 videos, I'd have moved over courteously for this driver. Out of shot, he is now coming past me shaking his hands and gesturing all over the place. So if you do live around the rugby area and recognise this car, I have a great idea for a Christmas present for them. A brand new Highway Code. Blink and you'll miss this next one. The only thing I would say is at least he was getting on with it and decisive in his actions, but probably shouldn't cut the van up like this. That was a bit stupid. The next clip is also quick and very similar to the clip we saw with the Ford Focus, with the driver of the car just assuming that the truck can move out the way. There's another truck in front of the truck in lane 1, so the sensible thing for the car driver on the slip road, rather than accelerate up the blind side of a truck and try and force his way out, he should have just let his speed off and merged into the big massive space behind the tipper truck. And the final video of this batch for today was from one of our other cameras. The blue curtain side van on the slip road decides to cross a solid white line because the traffic in front of him isn't moving fast enough, but even in doing so doesn't really cause the black car too much problems. But for whatever reason he decides to slow up as he's merging, and as you can see his brake lights here, he's gone from what was a safe merge, forcing the driver of the truck to stand on the brake. Once onto the main carriageway, he brakes again. So we got the horn from the driver who gave me this clip, and whilst gesturing with his hands outside of the window, he's inadvertently slowing down and all over the lane.
You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander.
Traffic jams these days are just a part of life, but you should never drive in a lane with a red X above it, or on a hard shoulder either. But when the first idiot does it, you get a lot of repeat offenders. And then across the next 30 seconds, the whole situation escalates out of control. And now we have a trailer in lane 3.
This is all his fault.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. I was 18 years old, maybe less, when I left my childhood town. Road and we headed south when I shot that cashier down for a tank of gas and a bag of cash, some cigarettes and rum. Veronica fell in love with me. We headed for the sun. Crossed the border in Mexico. We danced to the sounds of beats with the bulls and the matadors back to back. She screamed in the midday. The Riaga flowed and the black bulls died in the city of Azteco. I watched in awe and wonder the Veronicas unfold. Ha! In the blood that's celebrating you, when the dust turns the color of the Spanish moon, when a man's feet move to the devil's tune, there's death in the afternoon, death in the afternoon. Oh. Sunday on the Guadalajara Road. We made love on the floor of the wooden stall while the dead man's blood still flowed. I felt the world was a stupid boat, and I was the matador. Pleasing the masters of my red king, petals of my feet danced on the floor. In the blood, red sun, the flaming juice. When the dust turns the color